Resist.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I did not intend to speak on this motion because I thought for once we could have agreed on something. We could have agreed that regardless of what we say, the youth situation in St. Lucia in the region is bad. Youth are at risk, there is crime, there is unemployment, and there is need for improvement. That is why every member who spoke before me supported the motion. That is why we did it. But in supporting the motion, the members sought to give the government some indication as to what was really happening as far as young people are concerned and how they could improve the situation. But the arrogance and the pompousness of this government has come up all the time. Here is the member for Castrio's office. Goes back to track record. Let me give you the facts, man, and speak about track record. The United Workers' Party were in power from 1964 to 1979. That's 15 years. The United Workers' Party were in power from 2006 to 2011. That's 5 years. That's 20 years. The Labour Party was in power from 1997 to 2006. That is 10 years. And from 2011 to 2016, that is 5 years. So if you want to talk about track record and who was in power for a longer period of time, facts are the United Workers' Party were in power longer than the Labour Party. That's an arithmetical fact. So when you're speaking about these serious issues as youth, you not bring it to that level. You don't bring it to the level of trying to score cheap political points, who in power longer, track record, what he did for young people, things he did before he went for election. Madam Speaker, I have represented the constituency for about twice the amount of time as him. You understand? I didn't win because I was lucky. I won because I did things that the people appreciated. So when he comes and talks about things he did before he was in government, that is the problem with the members of the opposite side. They do not understand that they're in government and they must do the work of the country. They must stop this blasting and this attacking and this make you cry and 90% and trying always to score cheap points when they are in government. The people elected them. Do the work of the people. Forget the opposition. Forget us. Why are you so... you go crazy. You spend hours discussing us. Who to do this, who to do that. You've gone back to the member for Southern Cricket, West Indies Cricket, all sorts of things, instead of agreeing that there are issues as far as young people are concerned, and let us try to solve it. That's all we're saying. It would have been such a conducive environment if you'd gone up and said, we know there are problems, you tried, we are trying, and we are continuing. But the point, you always, and you're talking about scoring political points, you are the embodiment of scoring political points. Your whole life is political points. All what you say is politics. That's all you do. You can't change, you can't help yourself. You can't help yourself. Don't come talk about political points and talk about this hypocrisy about this is, stop it, man. All your life is politics. You talk about these bursaries. That is not true. Madam Speaker, the 15th bursary is not true. The member for the last Minister of Education, he came to this honorable house and he said to this member for Castrio's office, that 15 bursaries that you did not give is not true. You were given a bursary, you refused to accept it. What he also did, the member for Castrio's office was given 15 bursaries that he refused to accept. When I was Minister of Infrastructure, I wrote the Minister for Castrio's office and I told him there is a stimulus for his constituency. He refused to answer me. So you see, they come here and they pious and they holy and endowed and they did so much things for St. Lucia, and the opposition is the opposition, that let us be matured and take some issues away from this halicasse and this pompousness and this arrogance. Everyone pays. We are politicians. We're going to find people to criticize us. There are things that we cannot do. I am sure the Minister of Education, if she knew what was the situation when it comes to repair schools, she would not have said what she said. She wasn't aware. I was in infrastructure. I know the state of the schools. We did a study of schools, and we found that the government needed to fix schools about $20 million. That is the reality. Because the Minister of Education, when he was here, he always made a point that the school plant is aging. So what happens? You go and you say, they didn't allocate enough money for schools. And in the new budget, when I have my budget, I will allocate money for schools. But the reality is, you could not allocate more than $1.2 million. You know, these are the things that you learn when you get into government, and the reality of government faces you. That is what's happening. But you do not seem, members don't want to settle down and understand that they have to run the country. They and their surrogates, every second, I am an economic terrorist. I mean, these are the things that this government propagates. And you come talk about name calling and scandalizing. Come on, let's raise the bar in this honorable house. Anytime you open your mouth, you have to attack somebody, in spite of the fact that what the members are saying are things that you can take on board to help yourself, to improve the situation. Because in the final analysis, all politicians, they have one day of reckoning, one day. And the day of reckoning is when the people take a line and decide who they're voting for. So relax. Just relax. You understand? So all I'm saying to you is that the youth, let us agree that the situation with the youth is not in a state that you want, nor I want. All of us understand that the situation of the youth should be
honorable.
So, all I'm saying, Madam Speaker, is let us bring some things away from the political divide. Let us deal with some issues up front. Let's understand that we have problems in the youth, and let's try to solve it. Thank you, Madam Speaker.